Hello and welcome, Rangers. I'm Joe here with me, my co-host Stan.
Hello and greetings.
And today we've got a Dino Thunder episode for you. All turns out that this episode's still solid. At the start, Tommy is racing through the forest, leaps off island, just as it goes volcanic. And some years later, he's now a science teacher at a school. Turns out that Tommy ends up misbehaving, so gets detention. And the three who have to supervise are three school kids, two of them very antagonistic towards each other. Connor and Ethan. Not Ethan Van Sciver, but Ethan, the Blue Ranger. Kira is also saddled with them and doesn't really like them. And they basically went with very simple character archetypes for them. A jock, a computer geek, and a music nerd. The simplicity here actually plays to the advantage of the actors, who are all really good, and to the writers. That said, the three get detention. Tommy takes them off to see a museum. He doesn't quite get inside, discovers Anton Mercer's name on the place, but it turns out that Anton Mercer was supposed to have died some years ago. The large T-Rex statue turns out to be a robot that's into Tommy in a similar way that Kim was. Of course, the trio end up stumbling onto the command center, and when they get back after a brief skirmish in the forest, Kira hands over her stone, gets captured, and the other two decide to go tell Tommy, not knowing who to turn to, and they stumble upon accidentally the command center again. Tommy's really got to design better security.
Maybe get Billy in there.
This first season shows Tommy having come into his own, where once he was a man who doubted his own IQ, he is now a immensely intelligent young man, a formidable scientific mind, and a brilliant teacher. Also wears glasses that he doesn't really need to help with his cover. Generally carries himself in a similar way as Clark Kent. In a lot of ways, since I believe it's Christopher Reeves, this is the finest portrayal of a Superman archetypal type of character. GDF does not disappoint in how great he portrays Tommy here. As to the kids, they're good. The best one's Kira, let's be honest. She's got the best actress. I remember the first time we watched this series together, I don't think we were impressed with Connor or Ethan, but this time around I'm a lot more amused by their poor behavior and their insults. Their insults are actually pretty clever and funny, for the most part, or at least Ethan's are. Indeed. Connor's are not as clever, but they're funny nonetheless. While I do like these two, in universe, now I'm gonna just showcase my own quiet thoughts on the pair. If there was any actor they should have brought back for a future season, it was Kira, to portray Kira. And the only reason I think that is that I don't see Connor or Ethan really coming back afterwards. Whereas Kira seems to have been someone who, like for example, maybe TJ or the six from the movie, had a lot of passion for superheroics. As for the villains, Randall is the school principal, and while she's a decent enough character, I guess, she's someone who carries a lot of bitterness and hostility towards the school kids. As for Mesagog, he only appears at the end for like 2 minutes, and it's just kind of funny how, next episode he's gonna be showcasing his full glory. I remember him just being one of the most creepy villains, because he was someone who, at one point, basically said to one of his minions, "I just ate," while looking hungrily at his villain, Flunky, who's realizing Mesagog is talking about eating, I think it was Randall, eating her, which was very creepy and disgusting. And I think that, to give the devil his due, Mesagog might be the creepiest of all the Power Ranger villains of all time.
And that's saying something, considering we had Lord Zed.
Even Ooze was kind of creepy. But Mesagog is creepy in a different way. He's not as powerful as Ivan, I think, but it's stated outright that he eats his own minions. He's a cannibalistic monster. And he's one of those Darth Vader types who will kill off incompetent officers, so to speak. Nary a second thought to the consequences of that. Now for the rating of this first episode. This episode, I'm gonna actually say that on its own, it's hard to rate because it's a two-parter.
As much as I enjoyed Power Ranger shows like Lost Galaxy and Space and whatnot, this is one of the best intro episodes because, yes, it stays simple. We get to know the individuals within a minute. Jock, nerd, music girl, and then you have the veteran and the Ice Queen.
With Randall, I find her iciest comment was when she told Kira, "I have a better chance of getting a music scholarship for college than anything else. Trust me, you're no college material." Wow, that was ice cold.
She makes Elsa look warm.
Yeah, and I'm gonna add that I actually think Kira would do well in college.
I agree. And
She seems the smartest of the trio in some ways. Ethan is really smart in a pure book.
academic.
You almost get the sense that he's high functioning autistic. Now, I'm going to actually praise this season. This season has one of the best bromances between the Blue and Red Ranger. And in some ways, it does harken back to Rocky and Billy. Now, where Rocky and Billy were, in my view, slightly more nuanced in a lot of ways, as you could clearly see there was a lot of insecurities and other issues at play with the two. But on the other hand, Ethan and Connor go from a different kind of animosity. In season 2, Rocky very clearly was acting like a puppy with Billy. Billy just didn't like Rocky at first and had contempt for him. Here, the contempt is mutual. But we see them go from a pair who cannot stomach each other in this first episode to, in the last episode, it seems like they're Castor and Pollux. They come as a pair, welded at the hip. A lot of high school friendships don't fully pan out, but I see, like, these two are basically married for life almost to each other. You're never going to see them apart from one another. And that has to do with also the archetype between the two and the archetypal friendship.
Even Kai-Leo bromance.
I could see them kind of going their separate ways in that much as they really liked each other eventually, and they start off not liking each other. Mostly Kai didn't like Leo because Leo was a punk and a brat.
And he was a professional military man.
Kai?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about Leo. I think that with Leo and... Remember, Leo returns to Earth for the most part, but occasionally comes and goes. Kai stays in space. Long distance friendship. These two, I actually see them basically becoming next door neighbors or something. Like, there's something of almost Will Hunting and Chucky from Good Will Hunting to these two. They're stuck together, and I really like that. I could see Kira maybe moving away or losing touch with them after a while, but I see her as being married to the Power Ranger legacy, whereas Connor and Ethan, I don't think are married to it. They're certainly brothers in all. They're basically sworn brother archetypes.
Taking this episode alone, I'll say a 2.
I'm going to say a 2.5. Really above average, in my opinion. Tell us what you think in the comment section down below. And don't forget to smash that like and that subscribe button as though you were Tommy kicking a T-Rex. And remember, Rangers, may the power protect you.